Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Oxygen Not Included. In the last one, we added a few minor improvement efficiency things. Um, Mainly, we added this big block of aluminum tiles here, which runs right on top of these radiant liquid pipes, and that these will be always around like whatever temperature the supercoolant is. That's what these blocks will probably be at. And that'll just cool down our solids that we're extracting from inside of here. Make sure that they're not, 200 degrees and we're not bringing them out into the rest of the base. That would be quite bad. And we also added this, I guess, exchanger. So our hot water tank is right here. This is the overflow. And our input liquids will come in from now down here. And they'll loop through here, get heated up to around 95 degrees before they get put in, just so we reduce the amount of heat that is necessary to boil the liquid. Um, make this more efficient. So yeah, we've got this, and now what we need to do for today and the plan for today is we're going to hook up our input liquids. So we have a lot of them across the map, and this is going to be a pretty big build. Um, but basically, what I'm going to do is honestly, I might like cut off a little bit of up here even to get some more space. And we're going to add in just a mixed liquid, like we're going to use just liquid reservoirs. We're just going to get some mixed liquid reservoirs here. We're going to fill up all of our different liquids into this area, and then we will have our input liquids evenly distributed across the two input streams and dumped into here to be, I guess, cleaned. So yeah, what we're gonna do, I think I will probably maybe skim off some of this. It's all pretty cool now, so we're going to deal with it. Where we're just gonna mine it out at this point and maybe dump it into this room. So yeah, let's get to it. All right, so this is our liquid buffer. So basically, we're just going to buffer a bunch of liquid into these two, and then we'll send them out and in. Um, right here, we're going to have our all of our inputs, and we're just going to try as best as we can to evenly distribute them onto onto both lines, and then buffer them all in. Uh, we'll see. I need to figure out some way to kind of like load balance, I guess. Um, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but yeah. If you're wondering why I am so, I guess, worried about trying to match the inputs and outputs of this, so that we input a certain amount of water, and then we always are outputting a certain amount of water, and it goes into a tank or something along those lines. Here's our old one, right, which is very cold now. But you can see there is 1,000 kgs of steam pressure per tile in this room. Now, hold on for the autosave. That means that these liquid or vents are actually overpressurized in the steam room. Yeah, they overpressure at 1,000 kgs, right? So this room can no longer put in more liquid enough, and you can see certain things have started backing up a little bit. It's ridiculous. So this is part of why we need to have a better system for handling our liquids, and we don't want to put too much into the steam room at once, or we need to have an overflow system. So if the steam pressure does get too high, then we get rid of the extra steam. But that's really wasteful temperature wise, since we had to, use some amount of heat to heat up that liquid. But anyways, that's part of why we really need to make sure we match our inputs and output streams, which we are. Um, so now I'm going to go and start hooking up different liquid sources. You can see this one's pumping right now. We're going to, that one over here, this vent. And then I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. I might just put down a liquid pump and put down like a bunch of liquid filters to filter out everything that isn't water. And then all the water I'll send over to be put in. But yeah. And our salt water we're going to do, and our fluted water over here. And then also all of our outputs from different ranches and things. So all this mucin from the Ovaline, all of our squid ink, stuff like that. So let me start working on that. It's going to probably take me quite a bit of time. Okay, so I've hooked up this vent here, it goes through this mess of pipes, which is possibly a 2-to-2 load balancer. Maybe. We'll see. It might not work the way I want it to. It is balancing between the two pipes, that is for sure, but once we start adding in multiple liquids onto these input streams, who even knows? But down here you can see it runs through our heat exchanger to draw out, well, in this case, I think the incoming brine is actually hotter than the output water right now because it comes out at 95 degrees from the vent. And then that goes in, it drops in, it obviously instantly evaporates. And you can see our water, our output water from our turbines, it prioritizes going back into the system even when it's, like, being told, like, when it's even supposed to be going to the output tank. But if there's liquid there, then obviously it has the auto shut off and it, or overflow, and it goes out no matter what. So things are going pretty good. Oh, and it only goes this way if there needs to be... Oh, no. If there needs to be more steam pressure, it'll go through the upper path, I believe. Or no, it goes through the bottom path. I'm lost and confused how I built this. I just know that it does what it's supposed to most of the time. So yeah, things are going pretty good. The supercoolant is getting rather hot, and so is this steam turbine, the very last one in the chain. But I think once this volcano goes dormant, which it will be in 16 cycles, I think it'll cool down quite a bit. Basically, we're like right at the edge of what this supercoolant can handle, cooling down all of this output material and cooling down 10 steam turbines. We're barely at the edge of what one aqua tuner could do. Really, we're like right at where we would possibly want to consider getting a second one, but I think once the volcano turns off, it'll be fine. Yeah, so anyways, gonna continue hooking up more different liquids. I'm going to start pumping out the liquid from in here, but I just need to make sure that it does not grab like crude oil, ethanol, nuclear waste, any of that. I don't want to contaminate my nice, perfect steam room, so we're gonna filter for water, and then we'll send it in. So let me get on that. All right, so I got some... Oh, I just finished research. I have the filtering set up for this now. I don't know when it will even get to a point where it starts sucking up anything but polluted brine. But it's getting there, and I could put in more liquid pumps, but why? We can only handle 2 liquid pumps in here running continuously, and we have all the other vents and geysers and stuff that I want to be able to deal with. So we're just gonna put one in, and it'll slowly get done. It will be a consistent stream at least, so that's really what matters. You can see this is working. It is distributing evenly between the two. So that's something impressive. And yeah, that's another one set up and ready. And oh, also I put in... So the steam pressure at the ends over down this way was a little bit too low. And so I set up some liquid vents just on the output overflow, just to catch it like one last time. If we need a tiny bit more steam pressure in the very far reaches of the thing, we'll output the water just a little bit longer. But when both of these are reading red, which that one just turned on, so you can see it started dumping more water in. When both of those are reading red, then we will turn off these liquid vents, and all of the water will go to our output. Which, obviously, since we're putting in 2 inputs here, we only have 1 output pipe, we might end up having some problems with not being able to get rid of water fast enough. So I will have to build in a second liquid pump here probably that goes to space, and I'll have to deal with all this pipe work. But for right now, I'm not going to worry too hard about it. Probably. So things are doing pretty good. I just need to start hooking up a few more. Probably I think I'm going to work on fixing up this down here now. So this is the pipe that kind of collects all of our different waste products, I suppose. Our mucin from inside the base, our squid ink, more mucin, even more mucin. All of it just is getting dumped into here for right now. We're going to divert that down to here and put it in with everything else. So I need to do that. I think that if this is constantly running, then there shouldn't be any problems with it backing up, hopefully. That's the goal. So we're just going to take this and we're going to put it in. Honestly, I might run it through the interior of all of this and just down through some of this rock, because why not? Like, at this point, this is cold enough that if it's in an insulated pipe, I don't think there's going to be any problem. So I think we'll just do that, and it'll be a lot easier. This pretty soon will be turning off, I'm sure. Already the steam pressure's been starting to drop, which is good. That's basically what we want, is to slowly decrease the steam pressure in here as we finally stop putting in new liquids, which I think there's just this stream, and then there is our overflow, or not overflow, just our output waste pipe from the natural gas generators, this one right here. That also gets dumped in. These natural gas generators don't run very often anymore because of, obviously, we're producing however much, 8.5 kilowatts off of all of this. So, pretty good. We produce 8.5 kilowatts, and right now we're drawing 13. And you have to remember, we also have all of these tidal turbines, which account for something. I think probably a couple kilowatts of power. And then we have our batteries, of course. So, things are doing really good, and let me work on probably running this down through everything. So, yeah. Okay, so the mucin here is also hooked up, and I realize that I built this thing wrong. So basically the intent originally, and I kind of forgot about this when I was building it, and then built it wrong, obviously. The intent originally was to have buffers for our different liquid input streams, and then we would mix them all together and produce 2 constant output liquids. What I ended up doing is made 2 inputs to our buffer, and so our buffer can only ever be filled at the same rate we drain it. So there's no buffer here. This is basically just one really long pipe. So, and this mixing right here, this needs to be done afterward, and it needs to be, it needs to balance however many different buffers that we have, because each different input stream should have its own liquid buffer. So some of them maybe don't need it. Like, this has a little holding area for its liquid down here. The geyser does. This also has a little input, like, holding area for it. This has all of this liquid, which is basically just one big buffer. It doesn't necessarily need any. The mucin over here definitely does need one. We do not have enough storage over here, and we produce far too much of it, and it needs to have a liquid input. So basically, I need to switch all this up, and I need to make it so that all of our different liquids, if they need a buffer, they have one, and then if they don't, then we balance them properly after the fact. Really, it's probably fine that this one doesn't have, like, that we put both of these, I should say, onto this one line, because both of these have their little tiny buffer. Although this maybe should be prioritized first. And that's the other thing that I need to do, is I need to prioritize certain fluid inputs versus others. Like, this mucin needs to be top priority. It needs to be put in over any other liquid, like brine over here and anything. And same with probably this vent, any of the vents, really. And then this should probably be, like, last priority. It's just, like, we're slowly going to clean it out. It's not filling with anything, so we don't need to worry about it. So I'm going to rebuild this and some of our inputs so that we can properly do things the way I think it should actually be working. So let me switch this up real quick and fix it. So there are a ton of problems that I accidentally just walked myself into, and I completely didn't notice that they were about to happen. First of all, obviously with mucin being input now, we have tiles of dirt forming. I don't understand why it does that. I think it's something to do with the fact that in one tile, there's, one tile of mucin has so many more kgs than water does. It's way more dense. Like, this right here has 100 kgs of mucin. It's one tile. That's max. Whereas for water, wait, No. Okay, I guess I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I completely thought it was lower for water. But anyways, something's up with mucin. It always produces a solid tile, and so I had to put in a robo miner in here. Um, Finding a spot to put this in was a pain. And then, because this is now backed up, and it has been for a very long time because we're putting more water on, like right here, you can see. Our old one is still working, and still we use the same pipe to go up to space. Probably shouldn't have done that. And the fact that there's only one, we need two pipes. So this backed up and was starting to fill up the steam turbines. So now I just output the steam pressure into here, which is increasing the temperature a lot. Um, so I think I should probably turn off the input streams as well. And I need to put in a second liquid pump in here to stop this. I need another one right here or something. And I need more pipes. More pipes. So much liquid. And then finally, you can see the mucin once the autosave's done. You can see the mucin at the top of this. We had some squid ink, which I didn't realize converts to mucin at over 80 degrees. Not 90, 80 degrees. And so it ran through here and immediately turned into mucin. So what we need to do right now is turn off the input water streams. We need to add a second liquid pump, and then we need to still fix the inputs. But right now, I'm just having all of our mucin go into these liquid tanks. They're going to fill up extremely fast. Um, and I need to then have some sort of way to... I need to filter and send squid ink and probably mucin, since there is 5 degrees worth where the mucin could... It could be hot enough in this tank that the mucin would turn. And I need to have an auto overflow so that it goes in, it skips the regenerator, kind of. So, lots of different things I need to go and fix. And I will come back once I've, hopefully, fingers crossed, fixed them all. There's a lot to fix. Finally, it has been a couple cycles, and the overflow, both of them, I added 2 pipes. They run all the way up to space. And we should get rid of all of the excess water that our new system now produces. Let me check down here. Both of these liquid pumps are running. The system's been off for a while, so a lot of stuff is backed up. It's still running. It's just like not getting new water input, but this should help a lot. I'm just gonna wait for this to go back down below to this level when both the liquid pumps are off, and then I'll input. And in the meantime, I'm going to fix the input system itself now so that we can actually properly distribute and prioritize different liquids and things like that. So I am going to work on that now, and let me check up here. Takes a little bit for liquids to go the entire length of the map. If you want an idea of how far they're going, they are literally going... This is probably the least efficient way I could do this, but I don't really care too much. They're going from the bottom left of the map all the way to the upper right of the map. So, maybe not the smartest of ideas, but it's okay. And there we go. The liquids are all coming out, and they're just gonna... They'll build up on this side a little bit, and then they'll pour off into the vacuum space right here. And that's basically it. That's what we want to see and we want to do. So, yeah, let me go fix the other water things, and hopefully we can get back on track for the video. Okay, so things are better. I've turned on the inputs now, and you can see there's a few liquid pipes. Just a few. Let me see if I can try to explain how all of this works. So we have our mucin and squid ink. They still come down through into here where they're stored. They have these storage. There's a slight leak, so they're currently cleaning up through here. But the squid ink then comes through. It bypasses the heat up area and is prioritized to put on, because this is a waste product and other things will break if we don't get rid of it. So that then comes up and it just goes straight in, obviously. And then our other liquids, which we're going to have 5 different sources of them, at least 5 main big sources. So those will come in. We have, this is from the big tank that we have of just mixed liquids right here. This is from this geyser, or vent right here. And then this third one right here that we have hooked up, well, sort of hooked up, is coming from right here. And I'll get back to this, why this is not hooked up and it's still diverted the other way in a second here. And then, so all these get stored, they get buffered for a little bit. We don't really need buffers on these, but I decided to put in one just in case. And then it goes into this mess. I'm not going to even, basically all it does is it splits it. It splits each stream and sends half to each one. That way we just equally will distribute each pipe onto each. And you can see the vent is prioritized over the upper storage, the big one, because that's what I want it to do. And this other line isn't running because we have mucin and squid ink that is backed up and slowly needing to be gotten rid of, which is also purposeful. We want to prioritize some things over others. And then that runs through here and then eventually goes into the actual thing. And our wastewater, we now have our dual streams. So we have 2 full pipes of liquid water constantly coming out of here. And yeah, things are going good. Also, the squid ink and mucin, I decided to put in, come in through this side purposefully because we have the aqua tuner on the right, and you can see if the dirt does build up enough, it will stop the thermal aqua tuner. And even just turning the thermal aqua tuner off for a few seconds is bad, so we're trying to minimize that by making it so the dirt will mostly form on this side and not on this side. And I turned off the extraction of the resources in here for right now, just so we could try to cool the loop a little bit, but it's happening at such a slow pace. I think we do just need a second thermo aqua tuner in here, honestly. Maybe I'll put it like up here or something. Just in another one in the room. We can't cool enough and can't cool fast enough with just one thermal aqua tuner. I think we do need 2. So yeah, and then over here, the reason this one isn't hooked up is because I had almost forgotten. So I did unhook it for a little bit, and then I realized when I was building the space pipes over here, this pipe goes up, and this is what is actually feeding our glow squids. So it's really vital that we don't cut that off. We need to basically put in a prioritization so that we send liquid up this way to fill up these pipes, and then we'll overflow and go that way. Similar to how it does that, and then immediately after it fills up these buffers, it goes into this old one over here. So I think that is what I'm going to do. This should be really simple, actually. I basically just need to go cut that pipe right there. And then down here, we just will build a liquid bridge, and we'll prioritize it going this way. Cut that, and yep, that should be good. So that'll prioritize all of our liquid going that way first, and then it'll overflow and go through. These other 2 buffers, one of them is for our saltwater geyser, way up here, this one, and the other one is for our polluted water geyser, right here. Now, this one we have to be a little bit careful of because we are, of course, using this polluted water for a bunch of other stuff constantly. So we'll be careful. We'll probably put the liquid pump that goes to the other one a little bit higher in this tank so that it will, if the tank manages to get low enough, then it will we'll keep a little buffer for whatever this polluted water is being used for, which I don't think it's a lot. And it's mostly, it was used to fill like old cooling loops. But I think I'm going to connect up the saltwater geyser and polluted water vent off camera. It's going to take me a long time, and it's literally just building one pipe a long distance. And hopefully this doesn't break again or anymore. I'm going to add a second cooling loop as well between episodes, or second aqua tuner between episodes. So yeah, I'm going to end this one here, and thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.